Let's go straight to Al Jazeera's Sue Turton, who's inside the al-Aziziya compound. Sue, I believe that in certain parts of the compound, fighting continues.
Indeed, Jane. We came down here today expecting to see a compound completely in control by the rebels and to see what was happening yesterday with a sort of ransacking of the area. This is one of the main entrances that you come into the compound, and then about 5 minutes ago we saw a flood of fighters just flying down here in their pickup trucks with their weapons, because what we've been told is down the road across here, if you follow me down here, this is inside of the compound. You see the building right at the bottom of this street here. It's actually a restaurant. Well, fighting is going on there. What we understand earlier on is that there are Gaddafi loyalists who are across the other side of the compound in the Abu Salim area. People might remember that area because it's the name of a prison where there was reportedly a terrible massacre of inmates there back in the 80s. What we're hearing is Gaddafi loyalists are there, and we understand snipers are picking off some of the rebels who are inside the compound. I understand so far from one of the commanders here that one of those rebels has been killed and another one injured. They were struggling for a while to get to the body and to the injured because the snipers were still there, but they have now flooded in with all sorts of artillery to try and take those Gaddafi loyalists out. So there is nowhere near a safe picture really in this compound yet. They really are still having pockets of resistance across Tripoli, and in particular right next to the compound.
Does it give you a sense of where he might have gone to the closer they get to taking over the compound?
I don't think anybody realistically believes that Colonel Gaddafi is actually holed up in this compound. I don't think they actually believe Saif is also holed up here, his son, because they have now been in most of the compound, they've been in the tunnels, they've been in most of the area. But what it appears to have been is there's a gate the other side of the compound. The Gaddafi loyalists have fled through that gate and are holed up in high buildings across there, and obviously have a very good vantage point of inside the compound. As to where Colonel Gaddafi is, we are hearing rumours that he spoke to a TV channel yesterday, a Gaddafi loyal TV channel, saying he will fight to the bitter end, he will be a martyr if he needs to be. We haven't had it confirmed that that was actually the case, but there does seem to be at least an effort to spin that there is still a chance that the Gaddafi fighters are in this battle. Now, you talk to the rebel fighters here and they say they really have vast swathes of this city now and there's no going back. But it's not yet apparent that they really have control of the whole of the city.
Tell us about your trip to the compound, what sort of state the capital is in, and if you were able to see or talk to any residents.
Yeah, it was my first look at Tripoli, and I suppose a little bit surprising. I've been in the east, I've been to Ajdabiya and Benghazi, and especially Ajdabiya was a ghost town after the Gaddafi soldiers had been there. It was a mirror image here in Tripoli this morning. We came down streets and saw absolutely nobody. All the shops are completely closed and barricaded, and not unsurprisingly. But there are also an awful lot of checkpoints. We came up from the border overnight last night, and we saw checkpoint after checkpoint of the Gaddafi fighters trying to ensure that there isn't any kind of movement if there are any Gaddafi loyalists in this area, trying to ensure that anybody that was going through was loyal to the rebels. Now, when we got into Tripoli, really completely empty, and all we're seeing is rebel fighters. I think I saw one woman covered up walking down the street, but that has been it. This is basically a war zone, and the rebels basically seem to have command of most of the streets, but this is not an operating city from what we've seen. It's a ghost town.
So it gives you an idea how difficult it is for the NTC to move into Tripoli, because clearly they need to go there to make some kind of standpoint that they are in control, that the political head is now taking over.
Yes, I mean, there is that essence that the NTC that have been pushing this whole rebel army from Benghazi for all these months, there is a sense that they need to come here to sort of stamp the victory that the rebels have claimed here. But there's also a sense that the rebels here also have to be very much part of the NTC or whatever the council is that takes over and looks towards hopefully elections in the future. There is an essence that really it has to be the people of Tripoli that also form part of that council, not just Benghazi flying in. And the NTC in Benghazi have always made that point. They've always said they're not the government point in waiting. They're just the transition to come in here. But at the moment, what I'm hearing is they're saying, especially the chairman, it's far too soon to come into Tripoli. I'm hearing that maybe a couple of council members will be coming in to start forging the alliances with the people here, but that's about it. I mean, really, as you can hear, it's not over. The fighting is not over in Tripoli.
No, it certainly isn't.